What are your 101 dreams yet to accomplish? I write an entire chapter of this in my book, and I actually vulnerably share my dreams, and I write why I wrote those dreams and why now in my life. And I had a friend who reached out to me. He finished my book. Well, he was in the middle of my book, and he said, "Wow, you're doing dream number whatever," he said. And I went, "I don't even know what dream that was. I completely forgot. Was it milking a cow?" And he laughed and he said, "No, you're in Costa Rica and you're traveling with your sister." It was two of my dreams and I completely forgot. Last summer, this was not even a possibility in my mind. One, to spend the winter backpacking with my sister, and two, going back to Costa Rica, which I've wanted to do for 20 years. So I just love that, of like, write your dream list and let it go, and put it out there and see how it will manifest. Like, we really never know. And so I just love that reminder of stopping and writing down our dreams. It's not always about goals. It can be very simple things in life. It can be learning a new skill. I have, some I had really big goals and others were very small goals. And it's not about a checklist of needing to do something. It's about like reminding myself, oh yeah, there still are other things that I want to do when we're in moments of maybe confusion or feeling lost or even unmotivated. People often want to do workshops on motivation, but we can't do workshops on motivation, really. It's about finding that inner passion, finding what fuels us, finding our goals, finding our why. All of these terms we hear from these big business gurus in the world and self-development gurus. It goes back to that of, once you have a reason or a passion for something, it will be easy. It's just natural to have that motivation to do what you're meant to be doing, or to achieve that dream you have. So, in my book, I talk about it's important to write at least 100. I say 101. Because the first 50 or so are very often simple. It's like maybe material things or things from the ego, I would say. That's general. I don't remember my first 50, so look back in my book. But then after 50, it's like, oh, okay, well, what else do I want? And then it goes into just subtle layers of what you really, maybe your subconscious really pushed down or forgot about or didn't ever dare to say. I have people I know who, for me, I sat and wrote this in 1 hour. It's very simple for me. 1 hour, I took the time, wrote it quickly. I wanted it to be fast. I wanted it to flow. But for some other people, it brought up so many emotions in them, because these were dreams that they pushed down. And then they realized that, one, they're not doing them. One, they forgot about that dream. And it just brought up some sadness in them, or some maybe anger, frustration, and also to be okay with those emotions. I encourage you to do this exercise. It might take an hour and a half, or 2, but really just do it to completion and feel the feelings that come up. We never know what will happen in like 5 years from now. We think we have a plan. Those who are very organized, and that's great. I love to plan my life. And then other things happen, unexpected things happen. Before Costa Rica, I love winters in Canada. It's magical for me to be in the forest with all of this snow, and it's sparkly, and I'm with my dog, who I adore, and just that icy cold that just wakes me up in the morning, and I love it all. I really have learned to love it. And we, just ordered a bunch of wood, and we were going to have amazing warm, morning fires in our fireplace and read with the warm coffee. I just love those mornings in the winter. And out of the blue, Costa Rica came up, and I was like, okay, now is the time. And I went, but that was not even my plan for years. It was like, okay, this is not the best time to go, maybe not the best time to travel, not. And then unexpected things happened, everything lined up. And now I'm here, and I don't know when I'm necessarily going to go back. I'm in the flow of that too. And I can plan as much as possible, but someone may still be renting my house, or whatever, the list goes on. So it's fun to plan. It calms my brain. It maybe alleviates some anxiety, but really we have to be in the moment, and we have to trust ourselves, trust the universe, and really jump on the occasions to follow our dream if we can. And whenever that kind of shows itself, we never know, but to be ready for when it does. So I encourage you to write a little comment down in the below, like, what is one dream you have that maybe you haven't shared with someone else? This is really vulnerable. I don't want it to be easy. I want you to be a little bit like, work on some vulnerability, work on saying something that you were scared to say. I remember the first time I shared that I wanted to be an author was when many years ago, when at my first networking event, and this woman beside me was a local popular author, and I confided in her that my dream was to be an author. And she was the only person I told up until that point in my life. I had a stable relationship and a loving family, and I wouldn't dare say any of that because it was so vulnerable. To voice that, to me, that was impossible, to be an author, And so I remember saying that to her, and then later on that inspired me to share that with my partner, which made me cry. Like I had so much emotions backed behind that dream that I cried, and it was just the most vulnerable thing. And for someone else, that may not matter, Okay, great, be an author. But when it's your dream and something so precious for you, I encourage you to share that in the comments. And I hope we can support one another in our dreams, and also go back and write, when you actually achieved it, or when your goal of achieving it is. And I hope we can all support each other in our dreams.